Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit. The continuing review of existing while black in America. He was asleep in his car. Police woke him up and created a reason to kill him. Luke Stewart, a 23-year-old black man, was asleep in his parked car on March 13, 2017. When he was approached by police officers Matthew Rhodes and Louis Catalani. He was parked legally in Euclid, a suburb of Cleveland, and he wasn't posing a danger to anyone. Catalani knocked on Luke's window, startling him awake. They did not announce themselves as officers. Luke sat up and started the car. Catalani and Rhodes immediately opened Luke's doors, reached inside to forcibly remove him. Catalani grabbed Luke's arm, and he wrapped his arm around Luke's head and pulled, while Rhodes pushed from the passenger side. So family, this young brother, Luke Stewart, asleep in his car, all of a sudden, two terrorists jumped in and began to attack him. Scared, Luke attempted to drive away, but Rhodes jumped into the passenger seat. Luke looked at Rhodes and asked, "Why are you in my car?" Rhodes attacked Luke. He punched him, stunned him with a taser 6 times, then used the taser to strike him in the head. Luke never hit back. Moments later, Rhodes shot Luke 5 times, killing him. Rhodes had been in the car with Luke for only about 1 minute before he opened fire. Rhodes had no reason to jump into Luke's car, let alone to use deadly force against him. The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals held that a jury could find that Rhodes' decision to shoot Luke had violated his constitutional rights. However, even acknowledging this, the court dismissed Luke's civil rights lawsuit. Why? Because of the hotly debated court-created doctrine of qualified immunity. Qualified immunity was meant to protect police officers from gray areas and unforeseeable changes in the law. Officers can be held liable only for violations of clearly established laws, and they are protected when they had no advance notice that their conduct would be unconstitutional. The question of what is clearly established is constantly in flux, but has generally been interpreted in a manner that protects police even when they demonstrate a lack of concern for people's lives and safety. Unless a court has already found that a highly similar fact pattern violated the Constitution, qualified immunity will protect police from lawsuits and trial. This defies common sense and undermines constitutional rights for all people. Any reasonable, safe, and professional police officer should know the Constitution doesn't permit police to see a person who isn't committing a crime open their car doors, jump into the vehicle, beat them, and kill them. But Luke's case was tossed out of federal court because that same situation had not previously been considered in court. So Luke's constitutional rights in that situation were not clearly established in the eyes of the court. So there is a fail-safe in the legal system for the horrendous, terroristic policing agents in our country, family. And the police agencies know this. The fraternal orders know this. The union agents know this. And so, as the so-called Black or African American people who exist in this country, we were deemed as 2/3 human. Thus, we are less than animals. So when we are killed, when we are murdered, strangled, castrated, destroyed from existence of this realm, to them, it is like putting an animal to sleep. In practical terms, that means so long as officers continue to violate people's rights in unique ways, courts will not hold them responsible. So if they become interpretive and innovative in their techniques of harming, maiming, and killing people, and there's no example of established law on record, their actions fall under qualified immunity, family. Rhodes, one of the terrorist cops, made the unreasonable, unnecessary, and extremely dangerous decision to jump into Luke's car and then to remain in that car when he could have left. Luke did not present an emergency or danger to the community, and such drastic action was not necessary. The officer Rhodes put himself in danger. Then he used the danger to create and justify shooting and killing Luke. Rhodes remains a police officer today. The Euclid Police Department did not discipline him for his actions, and because of qualified immunity, Rhodes has been completely shielded from civil liability under federal law. For the Stewart family, Luke's death remains an open wound. Knowing that Rhodes has never been held accountable causes them pain and fear daily. It's disappointing and disheartening that the system allows Matthew Rhodes to be shielded by qualified immunity when it's clear as day that he murdered Luke out of an act of rage and impulse, says his sister Tara Stewart. Luke Stewart was killed for sleeping while black. Qualified immunity robbed his family and community of accountability. We must and never will forget. And family, as we continue on our march for justice and reparations, we must incorporate the destruction, the ending, the annulling, the repealing of this law of qualified immunity, which gives these terroristic state policing agencies carte blanche to murder and kill those of us of the African American so-called black community. It is a formalized weapon to give cause and a path of no accountability to the agents who continue to gather, chase, corral, and terrorize the so-called slaves of the nation. And we shall return with our continuing review of While Black, our existence in America. And until we are together again, I love you. I love you. I love you. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit. Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit.